Have you ever just looked at someone and thought, what on earth are they doing? Well, today we're going to pull back the curtain on some of those really baffling human behaviors and find the hidden logic that's secretly pulling all the strings. We all know somebody like this, right? Someone whose actions just seem to come from another planet. But what if I told you there's kind of like a secret instruction manual for their behavior? And today, we're going to unpack it. So you know the person you're in a disagreement and suddenly they just shut down. Nothing. Just silence. It's like a wall goes up, and you're left there totally in the dark, wondering what just happened. And then you've got the total opposite, the rebel. The person who hears a rule, any rule, doesn't matter how sensible, and their first instinct is to break it. It just looks like defiance, but there's actually a hidden reason for it. And, okay, our final mystery person, the dreamer. Oh, they have these brilliant, incredible ideas. They can talk for hours about their grand plans, but when it comes to actually doing the thing, zero. And it's not laziness, I swear. All of these behaviors, they're clues, and we're about to solve the mystery. So here's the big secret. None of this is random. These aren't just weird personality quirks. No, they are predictable patterns, and they all come from just a handful of core human needs that are quietly running the entire show in the background. Let's kick things off with the first and maybe the most powerful driver of all, our deep, almost primal need for control. This one is a total game changer, and it explains some behaviors that seem like they make no sense together. Deep down, we all need to feel like we're in the driver's seat of our own lives. The moment that feeling gets threatened, our brain sounds the alarm. But even getting just a little bit of that control back can make us feel grounded and totally secure. And this is where it gets really fascinating. You've got the rule breaker and the super tidy person. They seem like polar opposites, right? But check this out. One is fighting outside control, while the other is busy creating inside control. They are both chasing the exact same feeling, being in charge of their own world. See, for the rule breaker, it's not really about the rule itself. It's about who's in charge. In their head, they are the captain of their own ship. A rule feels like someone else is trying to grab the steering wheel. And honestly, they'd rather steer right into a storm than let anyone else tell them where to go. And what about that person who needs everything to be perfectly organized? Well, when the world outside feels like a total chaotic mess, creating one small island of perfect order is how they cope. It's their anchor. It's the one thing they can control. Okay, so we need control. What's another thing we're always looking for? Safety. And I'm not just talking about physical safety, I'm talking about emotional safety. And this right here explains the person who builds those walls of silence. At the end of the day, this is all about protecting your peace. Your brain is kind of like a really smart bodyguard. It remembers every single time you've been hurt emotionally, and it learns to spot those patterns to keep you safe in the future. So when someone goes silent, it's almost never because they don't care. A lot of the time, it's because they care way too much. Their brain has learned that in the past, speaking up only led to more pain. So it does the logical thing. It retreats behind a shield of silence to protect itself. And this deep need for safety can even explain why somebody might choose to be single. It's not always that they've given up on love. Sometimes it's that they've become very aware of their own patterns, and they've decided that being alone is actually safer than being with the wrong person again. All right, now we get to the last piece of this puzzle, and it might just be the most important one. It all boils down to this simple idea. We don't really do what we want. We do who we believe we are. It's huge. Think of your identity like the operating system on your computer. Your brain will always try to run programs that are compatible with that system. The moment you try to do something that goes against who you think you are, your brain hits you with a massive error message. Remember our rule breaker? Yeah, it's about control, but it's also about identity. They see themselves as an independent spirit. So for them, following a rule can feel like a betrayal of their own personal brand, of who they fundamentally are. And this is the real secret of the dreamer. They talk about the goal, but their core identity, deep down, is, I'm the person who has great ideas, but I don't really finish things. Their brain is actually protecting that story, because as frustrating as it is, it's familiar. And familiar feels safe. This quote really just says it all. They're addicted to potential, not effort. The dream of what could be is intoxicating. The actual work is hard. And that hard work just doesn't fit with their identity. So they stay right where it's comfortable, in the land of what if. So these drives for control, safety, and identity are always running in the background. But how deep do they really go?
Well, they go so deep that they're still running the show even when you are fast asleep. Let's take a look at what your sleep might be revealing about you. Just think about how you slept last night. Did you hug a pillow? That's your brain subconsciously seeking comfort and safety. Were you all curled up in a tight ball? Your mind is still on high alert. Spread out like a starfish, that shows you feel open and secure. And if you're one of those people who passes out the second your head hits the pillow, yeah, that's not a superpower. It's a sign your brain is completely fried.
So you see, from the way you argue to the way you sleep, your actions are telling a story. They're broadcasting your deepest needs for control, for safety, and for identity. Your patterns are always talking. The real question is, are you listening?